Hello traders, I hope you are doing well. Welcome to your channel Holding Crypto, and I'm here with you as every day for the Crypto Capsule.
So today I want to refocus on Solana because we are increasingly, the fruit is becoming more and more ripe. That is to say, I had already told you some time ago that I really like Solana. I believe it is destined for a bright future and is set to gain market share in the layer 1 sector, particularly against Ethereum. And indeed, all the indicators suggest that this trend will continue. I had done a small graphical analysis to compare Solana to Bitcoin and Solana to Ethereum about 2 weeks ago, and I would like to provide an update today because things are becoming increasingly interesting. I really want you to be aware of what is happening and not miss the opportunity when it arises. I think it is increasingly emerging, preparing, and this is how to say it. The pressure cooker is boiling more and more. The compression pattern that we are currently experiencing with Solana is tightening a little bit, like a spring ready to explode. And we have signals, particularly regarding Ethereum, that are even being validated with levels from 2021 that are being broken. So to start, I suggest we take a look at where we currently stand with Solana, expressed in dollars. Here we are on the daily time frame, and we can see that we are looking at something very, very nice in the long term since we saw the bull run of 2021, then the correction of 2020, and then we started to reaccumulate at the bottom of the market, followed by a very, very nice progression at the beginning of 2024. Since then, we have been in accumulation like Bitcoin, for example, which is a very good sign because for an altcoin, being in accumulation during this period, while the majority of altcoins have corrected and sometimes corrected by 30, 40 or 50%, was also a very, very good sign. This means that Solana was strong and had a relative strength level similar to that of Bitcoin during this period. Reaccumulation in this bull market. So we haven't exited this area of reaccumulation yet, but we can clearly see that if we zoom in, well, we are in the green. We are in the green for the week that just ended, and overall, things are looking quite nice. One does not have the impression of facing an accumulation that is weak, but rather an accumulation that is strong, even if, once again, we have not yet exited this range, V, the high. Solana is very close to its previous all-time high from its last cycle, while many altcoins, including solid ones from the previous cycle, are still very far from their all-time highs, or even further away. This is also a very good sign of Solana's health. We can clearly see with the current trend surrounding meme coins, which are tokens that are loosely based on ideas and viral jokes on the internet, that Solana is gaining a significant market share in this area. Why? Because since it's like a casino, and it's a casino mainly for small investors and small traders, the transaction costs need to be low. Therefore, it's not feasible for a small investor to trade meme coins on the Ethereum chain because it's too slow and, above all, too expensive. So on Solana, it's much faster and much cheaper. However, there are some who criticize Solana for having transaction bugs, and sometimes the transaction doesn't go through. Personally, I have been using Solana natively, particularly to expose myself to meme coins for the past few weeks. And personally, I haven't encountered any major problems. In fact, I would even say that I generally struggle more to sign my transactions on Ethereum than on Solana afterwards. Well, there can always obviously be special cases, and it's not always perfect. But overall, I find the experience quite smooth. So let's now look at things, Solana versus BTC. We are still on the weekly here, so to really take a general step back from the situation. Similarly, it is clear that Solana obviously appreciated against Bitcoin during the 2021 run, which is normal. Then it depreciated, which is normal, and now we are reaccumulating. We have risen, and we are also doing a reaccumulation. This reaccumulation looks even better when comparing Solana to BTC rather than to the dollar, as we can clearly see this right-angled compression triangle, which, if it breaks upward, is generally a very bullish chart pattern. And we are compressing the spring more and more with dips, so waves, the low point, waves that keep rising, rising, rising since almost the beginning of 2024. So the orientation continues to be excellent, and we continue to have a confirmation of this phenomenon of spring compression before it potentially explodes upward, and finally where it is the most lucrative. And that's why I wanted to give an update on Solana today. And I will continue to do so regularly to keep you updated a little on where we stand and do we have any opportunity or not. Well, Solana against Ethereum is currently breaking its historical resistance. So its all-time high, which was also reached at the end of 2021. So this is extremely bullish, and it means that Solana continues to gain market share against other competitors, particularly the biggest rival, so to speak, which is Ethereum. So here we are gently passing the historical high. It is breaking out of a small internal compression here, which was extremely nice. You see that type of compression there, that type, what we call a right triangle. Why do I call it a right triangle? Because in fact, if we close it like this, you see, it creates an angle of about 20 to 10 degrees here. It's a kind of small means, how to say, mnemonic. Well, a visual technique that I give myself. So the other way to interpret it is to say that, in fact, we have one side of the triangle that is diagonal and the other side that is horizontal. And if the price breaks out horizontally, whether upwards or downwards, there is generally a continuation of trends behind it that is quite nice, even explosive. So the whole scenario that I had anticipated, in quotes, well, that I had observed, continues gently to unfold, to come to fruition. And there comes a moment when you see that things are finally forming in calmness, in serenity, little by little, without excess. And there comes a moment when this, how should I put it, this bullish construction, which is developing slowly and healthily, is going to go completely crazy, and then it will take off vertically, and that's where the most money will be made. But on the other hand, these are things that need to be anticipated and prepared in advance. You must have a trading plan. You need to have started building your position, whether on the base chain, that is Solana, or on tokens that are built within the ecosystem, to have what is called beta, meaning to amplify, to enhance the progression, even though I think that the potential of Solana itself already represents a very good medium-term investment. And there you go, things continue to get nicer and nicer until a certain point where, in quotes, the last reinforcements of the dam will give way, and it will be, here's how to say, not the flood, but here it is. I can't find the flood. Here's the flood. Potential buyers on this layer. One, and in its ecosystem, we also look at market share. So Solana's dominance, which is the dominance over the entire crypto market, has a long-term pattern similar to others. And I would even say it is better, since we have already surpassed the all-time high of 2021 in terms of dominance. And now we are doing something, once again, very interesting here. Signals of, there's bullish preparation on Solana happening everywhere right now. It's crazy. We are doing what's called a flip, from support to resistance. Finally, from resistance to support. So what does that mean? It's when we have here a resistance, okay? Which is first being worked on, all right. Then it was broken. And now we are working a little bit around it. And now we are in the process of changing it. Formerly a resistance, when the price was below a support, since it is now bouncing back above, I used another color perhaps, so that we can see it better. There you go. So this is also very clean, very healthy, done calmly, neatly, in a very readable manner. And we can clearly see that against this former resistance, which was the all-time high of Solana's dominance, we are now comfortably in 2024, having shifted from resistance to support, as we are now bouncing off it as a floor rather than a ceiling. So resistance, the little mnemonic, resistance is the ceiling, it's when it's above, and support is the floor, it's when we are below. So it's really that, well, no matter how you look at it, it's really very clean. And I think that, working on the Solana ecosystem over the year and the next 12 months is, in my opinion, a very, very good plan. So we can always wait for additional confirmations. We can say, well, yes, but when is it going to happen? It's against when we go. We are going to break through the historical resistance on BTC. Should we wait for this or should we wait for that? We should wait for something. We can always wait longer. We can always have additional confirmations. Ultimately, it's up to you to find the right balance. Yes, sometimes it is better not to enter too early because you can get trapped, but you also shouldn't enter too late because the gains have already passed, and what remains ahead will represent a risk-reward ratio that will be more interesting. And I think that we are entering a good compromise where we are not too late before an explosion, but we are also not too early, since we are seeing some very, very nice reaccumulation signals that are really confirming well. There you go. That's what I had to say. This is the focus I wanted to revisit on Solana today. I hope it has been useful and interesting. From time to time, I will focus on different ecosystems, different tokens, whether it's a bit of a general vision like I'm doing here, or sometimes when it's a much more immediate and concrete opportunity. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you would like me to analyze other ecosystems, for example, in the coming days, to compare them to the Solana ecosystem. And if so, which one or ones? I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, fair winds and good luck.